I am incredibly disappointed. I made a video a couple of weeks ago in which I talked about the completionist situation with his charity and how there were allegations for fraud because the money never went to charity while he was active for years. As I mentioned in that video, Jirard has been one of those YouTubers that I grew up with that always inspired trust and a down-to-earth personality. So imagine my surprise when I heard about the news. Still, I said that wherever there were any allegations of any sorts, whether it's a person I support, like or dislike, we need the two sides of the story. When the controversy started, we had Mutahar and Karl's perspective of the story based on investigations and receipts of the alleged accusation. In their side of the story, they showed how they reached out to Jirard to talk about this issue and the response he gave at that time. Now, in my original video, I also said that just like the way it happened with Bro Jared with the alleged encounters with minors, we should never judge before getting the entire context of the story. At that time, I made the mistake of assuming that the accusations were real based on very incomplete evidence, only to be proven wrong sometime later. I do not regret saying what I said when I mentioned that we should not judge until we hear his side of the story, because at the end of the day, whether that side of the story is right or not, it's still the right thing to do. What I do regret though is having faith in him, as his response was not only infantile, incomplete, insulting, unnecessarily emotional, and downright misleading. I'm not going to do a full summary of the events that were presented, as there are thousands of videos on YouTube right now talking about what happened. And if you want the entire context of the story with luxury in details, check Mutahar's videos, Karl's videos, and yes, even Jirard's video. You'll understand the entire context of the story. The bottom line of this is that Jirard starts the video with, "This is the only video I'll ever make regarding this topic," leaving it to understand that this is the ultimate truth and that there is no room for debate, when his clarification is absolutely misleading and untrue. He claims to have given receipt of the documentation, to which he provided none. For more information in detail, check that video. He barely mentions anything regarding the golf tournament's fundraising as well, which can be seen in more detail in Karl's video. He claims that his audience felt misled by his comments, when this is not true. He claimed multiple times that he was actively donating and working with organizations for dementia research in every single stream he made, when in reality the money was still frozen in the account. For more explicit detail of this, check Karl's video on the matter. I know that I sound like a broken record for simply quoting this video or that video, but after careful consideration and research, I decided to stop supporting Jirard from now on. Oh, big shock. He's gonna start from now on. Yeah, I know. It's not gonna make a huge impact in the long term. But here's the thing. I can admit mistakes. I can understand erratas. I can comprehend misunderstandings or twisted situations in which we need a precise context to truly develop the full truth. What I can't tolerate is lying and manipulation. You see, maybe it is an unresolved issue of mine, but I can't tolerate when people lie to my face and act offended, while also constantly using the same excuse every single time. Like Karl mentioned in his video, he also lost his parents, and he did not make any slanderous comment for the sake of hurting any reputation due to the lack of empathy towards someone else's pain. We are talking about a charity for dementia research. Money that never went anywhere. I'm not saying either that his charity would have been the definitive one that would have made it possible to finally find a cure, but the charity's purpose was still to get a step closer to that discovery, and for many years it ended up in absolutely nothing. In my case, I also lost someone to dementia, and I'll quote what I said in my previous video. I know what it's like to see someone losing themselves little by little so fast that they can't even say goodbye. So yes, this does affect me in personal ways because I connected with someone who had been through the same thing. Hopefully, if he was lucky, he did not have to experience that person getting irrationally violent or losing control over their basic functions like I saw. But I'm not here to judge or analyze that. What I'm saying is that if I do something in the name of someone who meant a lot to me and basically shaped my life in every possible way and yet was taken away by a cursed disease, I would feel ashamed to use their name for profit. I've lost many people I truly cared about in horrible ways that forced me to go to therapy for years just to turn those pages and start anew. Why am I sharing this? Well, very simple. When Jirard was confronted about this, the first thing he said to Mutahar and Karl was that if this story went viral or if they were to make this public, he would quit YouTube and get away from everything because of the shame. He even mentioned that he would donate the money anywhere just to get rid of the tedious situation in which he was involved. Mind you, he did not say he wanted to donate the money right away because it's the right thing or to honor his mother's death. He said that he did not want this story to go viral. I'll say it again. Check Mutahar's video for more details in regards of this topic, as you will hear it directly from him, not from a third party. Lastly, when this story finally became public, he did not quit YouTube nor did he get away from public platforms as he said he would. Instead, he threatened Karl and Mutahar with legal action for slanderous behavior against him and his family. But if the money was donated in the end, why do we care then? Well, here's the thing. Had Mutahar and Karl not approached Jirard, the money would have never been donated in the first place. 6 years was the money standing still in the account with no movement whatsoever, and suddenly, the moment the story goes viral, the money finally gets donated in record time. What a coincidence, right? It's almost like there was always a research to donate the money to begin with, unlike what he said to Karl when he inquired on the situation, in which they claim not knowing who to donate to but were more than open for suggestions. Check Karl's video for more details on this. But the thing that bothers me the most is the fact that I was simply hoping that Jirard wouldn't provide a generic response prepared by a PR team, which he ended up doing. Every single word meticulously written in a way to never take accountability, except for the embezzlement from donations and bits from streaming sessions for any of the things he was accused of with solid evidence. He ended up doing the one thing I explicitly said could not tolerate from him. I grew up with you, your humor, your passion, and dedication to your craft. It would be absolutely hypocritical and cruel from my end not to listen to you, even if what you have to say is that you were in the wrong. We're adults here, and we can have these discussions. The only thing I ask of you, Jirard, coming from a fan, is that you are honest with us, because we trust you. If you are in the wrong, simply be open about it, and that's it. Don't go with a PR team to create a typical YouTube apology video, because I can tolerate that from disgusting nobodies that abuse the platform, but I could not tolerate it from you. So, with all the lies, all the misleading comments from him, I will no longer support him. Jirard, if you ever watch this video, which I highly doubt, just know this. You failed me, and you failed your audience.